Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you are going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother, and the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I want to confess the things that me and my wife did. And it was never my intentions to do the things that I did, but it was because I was under a lot of pressure. And me and my neighbor, I can say that between me and my neighbor right now, there is a lot of deep hatred for each other. And I don't know if there is anything that I can do, anything at all. As for now, to sort out this mess that happened between us, it is going to be very difficult because there is a spiritual battle that is ongoing between me and my neighbor. In the past, me and my neighbor, we used to be like the very best of best friends. But with time, things changed and things became so bad for the both of us. So after I had divorced from my wife, I had then started dating my neighbor's child, and my neighbor got so close to me. The reason as to why she had gotten close to me, it was because she wanted me to marry her own daughter. But I was still going through that process whereby I wanted to see if this girl, if she was honest, if she was not a fraud. And I wanted to date her. Truly speaking, I thought that she was like going to be my wife. But the problem that came was when I had a conversation, when I started to be in communication with her best friend. That was when I was told the other side to this girl that I didn't even think that it existed in the first place. A friend of hers one day said that she wanted to speak with me and she wanted to tell me something about my future wife, the girl next door that I was about to get married to. She told me that my soon-to-be wife, she was nothing but a prostitute. She was prostituting herself in an area here in Harare that is called the Avenues. So I did not believe her at all. In fact, I thought that she was the one who was jealous. And I said, if you know that my wife-to-be is prostituting herself, you need to give me evidence. I thought that she was doing it simply because she wanted me. She wanted me to date her as well. And I then said, can we meet over lunch about this issue so that we can discuss, so that you can tell me everything that you know about this girl? Because already I was falling in love with her because she's like really attractive. So one day, me and that girl, we met over lunch. That was when she said that I want to show you that my friend is a prostitute. She said that I am going to give you evidence, concrete proof, video evidence. I am going to take some pictures of her, some videos of her while she is busy prostituting herself. Maybe you're going to believe that she is a prostitute for real. So then, Brother Nashi, what happened was that this girl, she then texted me on WhatsApp and she sent me some short videos when she was with my future wife. And indeed, I saw that from the clothes that my future wife was wearing to everything that she was doing. And at the place where she was just a prostitute. There was no two ways about it. I got more evidence on top of the evidence that she had given me, and I was satisfied. And after I had thought that I had gathered all the evidence that I wanted, that was when I said, before I can confront my future wife, let me do these things accordingly in a good manner. I then called the mother of this girl, my neighbor, and I wanted to speak with her. Since we had stayed close to each other for a very long time, I said, Mama, can you please come so that we can have a discussion? So after I had called her to my place, she came. And when she came, she was all excited. And she was like, oh, my son-in-law. And I sat with her down and I said, Mama, I have a story that I want to share with you. You know that I was divorced from my wife. And now I think that it is time for me to get married again. I think I am ready. But I do not want to make the same mistake that I did before. You know that I am in love with your daughter. Yes, I am. And your daughter, she is very attractive, for she is a very good woman. But there is another side to her that I never thought that it existed. Mama, do you know that your daughter is a prostitute? The moment that I confronted her about what her daughter was doing, that was when all hell broke loose. This woman then started to insult me, and I got so angry because here she was playing that victim mentality with me. She was playing that game with me. So I said, but I am trying to tell you, Mama, that your daughter is a prostitute. At that time, I wanted us to reach a point whereby we can agree so that we can see what we can do. But here she was like, you are telling me that you were investigating my daughter. Who gave you the right to investigate my daughter? Or do you want me to marry a prostitute, Mama? That is what I asked her. Mama, will you allow your own son to marry a prostitute? Then she insulted me and I insulted her back. She then left my yard and she went back to her place. So when she had left, that was when I found out that the things that she had been planning was that she wanted me to marry her daughter. And after I would have married her daughter, there were some charms that she was going to give me so that I can die. And after I would have died, then since I would have married her daughter legally, then her daughter was going to take my house, my property. They were going to sell my property or do whatever that they wanted with my properties that I would have left behind. And I was not going to allow that. So this made me to be very angry. I am someone who goes to church, my brother. I grew up as a Pentecostal, and I truly believe that going to these witch doctors, it is something that is very evil. But in our culture, they say that the person that will be wearing a shoe that is very small, that is the person that will feel the pain of wearing that shoe that does not fit him or her. So I then said, let me go to this other prophet who can assist me. This was after I had found this woman who is now my wife. So after my neighbor had seen that I now have a second wife, she got so mad and there was so much hatred. And me and my wife, even though we loved like each other a lot, we then started to fight a lot. And we were receiving these spiritual attacks. We started to have arguments after arguments, me and my wife. After that, that was when the spiritual battle kept on going between me and my neighbor. So we went to that prophet and we were assisted. So there were things that we were given. We were told that there was going to be needed some sweet potatoes. After we had gotten the sweet potato, the person that was helping us then grinded the sweet potatoes until it was like in a powdered form. And after that, it was dried up and we were given some prayers as well. And we were told that we needed to go and bath for several days. And we were told that this powder had been prayed for. We were supposed to go and sprinkle this powder on the front of our neighbor's gate. That is what we did. But before we had managed to do this, we tried for about 3 days, and each and every day for 2 nights, when we would hear that in our neighborhood it was really quiet, then we would go out of our house and we will check and we will see that indeed there is no one that is going around. Then we will pretend as if we are just having a casual stroll around the neighborhood. Then we will try to go and sprinkle the charms on my neighbor's gate, but each and every time for 2 days, there was always someone that will just come out of nowhere disturbing us. Then we will stop whatever that we wanted to do. It was only on the 3rd day, that was when we walked and we went to my neighbor's house. Because me and my neighbor, our houses, they are just opposite each other. All that we did was that we crossed the street. Then we went there quickly and we quickly looked, and when we saw that there was no one, we then sprinkled the charms on her front gate and we returned back to our place. So me and my wife, there was this other day when we were sitting in our car. That was when we noticed that my neighbor, she was driving from work. She then drove into the driveway and she stopped her car. She got out of her car because she wanted to open her gate, because her gate, it does not have like the remote. You just open it manually. Then she started to push the gate, but when she got out of the car, she panicked and she jumped as if she had been bitten by a snake. She started looking around for whatever that creature that had bitten her. And when she could not find anything, that was when we saw her as she was walking towards the gate. And as she was opening the gate, we actually saw that she was limping as if she had been struck by a poisonous snake. From that time, my neighbor has been so sick. She has been so sick all the time, always. Whenever she is walking, she is always limping. And her leg, from what we have heard, is that the leg is getting swollen. Me and her, we do not talk to each other anymore. But I am scared, my brother. The reason as to why I am scared, to be honest with you, I am such a coward, because even in my house, my wife knows that I am really a coward. Like when we hear something, I will tell my wife to go and check if that is a break-in or what will be going on. That is how much I am scared. Now what makes me to be very afraid is that when I think that this woman, she can do the same thing that I did, to go to a traditional healer and get some charms to hurt me. I do not want this woman to do a go back to sender to me. But the person that assisted me, he said, do not worry, all is going to be okay. But I am scared because of the things that me and my wife did, even though we are like faithful Christians. But we did this under desperate conditions. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things do happen in this world. Have you ever had a fight with your neighbor? I'm sure that I am going to receive a lot of stories about this, because the neighbors, they are very quick to bewitch each other when they have a big fight. So if you have your own story, feel free to send a message on our email or on our WhatsApp number.